Hey loves, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Faith, and today guys, I'll be checking out this video and it's titled Piers Morgan is 100% wrong, and this is by Ben Shapiro. And you guys, I'm super excited to find out what this one is all about. If you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please consider subscribing, give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And without much ado, let's see what this video is all about.
Well, folks, the BBC is hot garbage. The BBC did an interview with Eylon Levy, who is the Israeli government spokesman. And this interview is perfectly insane because Eylon Levy points out that when civilians are dying in Gaza, it's because Hamas is hiding behind civilians, that Israel is targeting military targets, and Hamas is deliberately attempting to massively increase the civilian casualty numbers in order so they can go to the morons at the BBC and claim that Israel ought to pursue a ceasefire.
Wow.
This BBC anchor responds to that claim by saying it is convenient for Israel somehow, that it's convenient for Israel to make the argument that they're bombing military targets. Now, again, let me just remind everybody, Israel has complete military superiority in this area. Israel has complete air superiority. Hamas doesn't have, thank God, any F-16s. Israel could, if it wanted to, turn the entire place to rubble. It could turn the entire place to glass. It could kill millions of people. Instead, Israel is purposefully targeting. Not only that, we'll show you evidence in just a second, that they are attempting to take care of Palestinian civilians in a way that Hamas actively is attempting to stop. But here's the BBC line, because this is what they do.
It's a convenient response, isn't it, that every time there is an Israeli strike on some sort of facility inside Gaza, you just tell us that Hamas is operating there and that's why you're fighting back. We understand that.
I'm sorry.
The UN here, though, is saying that its facility, the UN, internationally recognised body, the UN says that its facility in Gaza was attacked by your forces overnight, and this morning reporting a significant number of deaths. The point is that is in contravention of international humanitarian law, and people need somewhere that is safe to go if you are telling them to evacuate from the north of Gaza.
I have to push back because the insinuation in your question is that Israel takes pleasure at taking pot shots at civilian facilities.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that every response you make to my suggestion that you are targeting people when they are trying to find somewhere safe to go is that you tell me Hamas is operating there. This is a UN facility.
Ben, Hamas has spent the last 16 years embedding itself underneath civilian areas in Gaza, building its headquarters under the hospital, exploiting ambulances, putting its own, our troops have just discovered rocket launchers and weapon silos inside schools, inside classrooms, next to children's bedrooms.
So that justifies attacking those targets, even though there are, as we've seen this morning, babies in the hospital. We've seen that innocent civilians are in the UN facilities.
And we are doing everything we can, going above and beyond our obligations under international law to get civilians out of harm's way.
Look at the media. Look at the BBC there. Look at the BBC. What Eylon Levy there is saying is 100% true. Clearly 100% true. When he says that the UN facilities have been used for a very long time by Hamas as staging grounds for their terrorism and as storage points for their weaponry, then the BBC guys, well, isn't it convenient then that you're attacking those UN facilities as civilian? He's like, they're not civilian targets. They're military targets deliberately placed among civilians, which makes them military targets. And he said, well, isn't that convenient since you do want to obviously get... He's like, we don't want to kill civilians. Like, but don't you really? Because you're Jews?
You guys, this is so pathetic, and the world has truly turned upside down. I'm so glad that Ben Shapiro is using his platform to expose the truth to people that needs to know, because this is truly pathetic, and it just baffles me every single time to think that people feel that Israel is at wrong and are fully in support of the Hamas. I'm glad that Ben Shapiro has this platform to spill the truth, and I hope that people get to see this video and everything that Ben Shapiro is trying to promote here. Let me know your thoughts on this one, and let's continue, guys.
Because you're Jews? You Jews and your killing of the civilians, we can see what you're doing, you dirty, nasty Jews, you. I mean, it's just disgusting. It's vile. And this sort of moral equivalence comes in softer form as well. So, listen, I'm friendly with Piers Morgan, and some of Piers' coverage on this conflict has been good. And some other parts of his coverage have been purely bad because he tends to fall into this moral equivalence nonsense. So, there was a picture that emerged from Al-Shifa Hospital of small babies who are having trouble. The reason they're having trouble is because babies should not be at Al-Shifa Hospital. Israel has offered to get the babies out of Al-Shifa Hospital. Al-Shifa Hospital is a front for terrorism. It has the headquarters of the military under it. It has for 10 years. It's been reported by the New York Times, the Washington Post, Amnesty International. Okay, they put vulnerable children literally on top of their military headquarters in order to protect them. And Piers Morgan tweets out, this is so heartbreaking. Dozens of newborn babies detached from their incubators at Al-Shifa Gaza Hospital due to power oxygen running out. Israel must do more to get them to safety and medical treatment ASAP. Israel has offered whatever it can do to get those babies out. In fact, yesterday, here was Israel openly offering, this is their military spokesperson, offering openly to facilitate the exit of those children. Hamas does not want the kids to leave. Hamas wants the dead babies. To imply that it's Israel that has the responsibility for the babies that Hamas is almost literally strapping to their own bodies is insane. Here is Israel's military spokesperson explaining this yesterday.
We're speaking directly and regularly with the hospital staff. The staff of the Shifa Hospital has requested that tomorrow we will help the babies in the pediatric department to get to a safer hospital. We will provide the assistance needed. And there's something that the world must not forget, and we will not let the world forget it. Hamas has been holding hostages, 239 men, women, children, elderly, and babies. Don't forget babies. For 36 days. This is a crime against humanity, and we will not let the world forget it.
Okay, of course, that's true. But that didn't stop the media from trying to create this false moral equivalence. Why? Because that way they can appear tolerant. They can appear sweet as the reverse colonization from places that hate America and hate the West happen. That is the goal.
You guys, I don't even know what to say. What did the babies do to suffer like this? Imagine babies that were just born recently going through hell. Oh my God. I pray that they are able to give them a very conducive place. I can't even imagine what the babies are going through or what the parents are equally going through. This is very, very pathetic and not a good sight to behold. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section, and let's continue, guys.
There's been all this fuss about Al-Shifa Hospital because, again, Hamas deliberately planted their military headquarters beneath a hospital that has like a place for ailing babies. So yesterday, Israel presented fuel to Al-Shifa, specifically to the hospital administrators at Al-Shifa. In fact, here's video of Israelis who are carrying. This is the middle of a war. Have you ever heard of anything like this? I've never even remotely heard of anything like this. IDF soldiers, literally in the middle of a war, knowing this is a military target, dropped off canisters of fuel for hospital authorities in order so that they could use it to maintain power supply for people who need it in the hospital. They drop off these tanks. You can see there's aerial footage. Here they are. They're dropping them off. You can see all of it. And then Hamas prevented the gas from getting to the hospital.
What?
Hamas stopped it. Here's a senior Gazan health official. And he says, there's a problem at Shifa because Israel is trying to give us fuel and Hamas is preventing it.
Oh my gosh.
And then Piers Morgan's like, well, Israel must do more. Listen, I like Piers, but I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What exactly are they supposed to do? Airdrop the fuel? Do they have magic powers? I don't know when Israel's military was granted the magical ability to do anything that is like the impossible. Israel can magically snap its fingers and every terrorist dies and every civilian is preserved. Israel can magically snap its fingers and the fuel goes into Al-Shifa but doesn't get into the hands of Hamas. Here's a senior Gazan health official acknowledging that Hamas is stealing the fuel and or preventing it from getting to the hospital in the first place. There's a call between a coordination liaison officer and a senior official in the health system in Gaza. The Gazan health official says there's a problem only at Shifa now. But bear with me. He says, what's the story? Abu Rish, the director general of the Hamas health ministry, doesn't want this amount of fuel. We're trying to convince him. He doesn't want that fuel in there. The New York Times, by the way, confirms this story, that Hamas is blocking fuel from entering Al-Shifa. Why? So they can show pictures so that Piers Morgan can tweet it out, and people in the media can say Israel must do more to protect civilians. This is the entire game.
Wow, you guys, that is so pathetic. And what more can Israel do to protect their civilians from getting hurt by the Hamas people? Imagine this situation whereby they're trying to get fuel to the hospital premises and the Hamas people are trying to prevent it from getting to the hospital staff. This implies that they want everyone in the hospital to suffer or probably die off. I don't even know what to say, but I feel so sorry for everyone that is facing this war and those who have lost their loved ones. I feel so deeply sorry for them. I don't even know how they are holding up, not knowing what the next moment could bring. Either it's going to bring freedom or it's going to bring death. Let me know your thoughts on this one. War is not something anyone should pray for because it doesn't bring anything like peace. Instead, it wrecks so many life, family apart, and at the end of the day, it's always the innocent people that suffers the most. Let me know what you guys think about this. And I also agree with everything Ben Shapiro said, and I'm glad he's using this platform to let people know the truth and know that Israel is truly not at fault. Let me know your thoughts on this one. I enjoyed every minute of this video. If you guys totally enjoyed watching, give it a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.